Hi everyone, it's Heidi from Flutter by Heidi, and I'm Heidi Smith, independent Stampin' Up demonstrator based here in the United Kingdom. And today I'm coming along with another project using the lovely Queen Anne's lace stamp set, which is part of the current joining offer. If you want to become a Stampin' Up demonstrator, now you don't have to demonstrate if you don't want to. You can join just for the discount, and so you get £130 worth of product for £99 plus this stamp set, another stamp set, and enough materials to make 16 cards. So that's the offer. But obviously what I'd like to do is just show you how versatile this Queen Anne's lace stamp set is. So I've already done a couple of projects, or they may come out in different order, but I've done a couple of cards here just to show some simple layering and stamping, make some beautifully effective cards, as well as a couple of treat pouches where I've added in some of the playful patterns, embellishments as well. So as well as those cards, I thought we'd do something with one of my favourite colour combinations, which is pink and grey, so Rococo Rose and Smoky Slate, or you could use, as I've done here, Blushing Bride and Smoky Slate, and I've also used the lovely labels Pick a Punch as well. Create this lovely little tag on the back here. And what I've done is I've used the infill, which you've got here, so you've got the sort of detail and then the infill, to create a background effect as well, and then just create our little banner ends for our best wishes tag. And then on the inside I've just done some stamping off. I'm going to use a slightly smaller piece to give a slightly larger border, just to create that inner card as well, because we've used a Blushing Bride base. So as a really nice card that comes together quickly, but with some simple layers, it just lifts it up a level. So I thought I'd do the same with Rococo Rose and Smoky Slate. So what you'll need is a 10-fold card base is what I've created, and this is 29 by 10.5 centimetres, scored at 14.5 centimetres. I've then got a layer of Whisper White for the inside, which is 13.5 by 9.5, just to give that slightly smaller border, larger border, smaller layer. For the front, I've got a piece of Whisper White again, and this is 14 by 10 centimetres. And then the pieces for the layer, Whisper White there is 6 by 10, and the layer of Rococo Rose 6.5 by 10.5, and then a couple of scraps of Whisper White at 3/4 of an inch, 1.9 centimetres, and at 1/2 inch, no, I've taken 3/4 of an inch, that's that one, and this one is an inch wide, so that's just 2.5, just about 2.5 centimetres, and that just helps it slide in really well. So let's crack on. Other things you'll need, Stampin' Pierce mat, and I've got mine here, and you can see I don't always cover it up very well, so I am trying better to just use some scrap bits of grid paper just to protect my Stampin' Pierce mat. This is great to use if you're using photopolymer stamps, because what it does is, whereas our red rubber stamps have the cushioning on, that's the sort of the foamy layer, obviously on photopolymer you don't. So when you're pressing down, if you're on a hard surface, what you can end up doing is squashing the image out, giving you blurry images, whereas if you use a Stampin' Pierce mat, you get a really lovely crisp image. So that's why we use that. So I'm just going to take my Smoky Slate, ink up my ink pad. Now it's a larger one, so if you're more comfortable to get the coverage, just ink it up by taking the ink pad to the stamp, and then I'm just going to pop that just pretty much in the middle. Get a lovely crisp image on there. I'm going to do the inside piece as well, so I'm just going to take that now while I've got my ink pad out, and I'm just going to ink it up, stamp it once, and then stamp on the side of my card. Same again, just down at the bottom here. Pop my Smoky Slate away, and then I'm now going to use this lovely image on the front here to fill those in. So for the inside and for the front, actually, I'm going to stamp off because it's quite, Rococo Rose is quite strong. I'm just going to stamp. And what I'm doing here is, if you just hover over the image, I find it easier to do if I stand up, and you just line that up with the flowers. Now it doesn't matter because it's because the nature of it, doesn't matter if it doesn't line up exactly. It is designed to give us sort of the effect, sort of a frothy effect over the top there. So there's my inner panel. And now we can do the front panel to create our background. So all I'm doing here is stamping off and creating a background. Just trying to kind of fill in the gaps on those. So you'll see I'm sort of hovering a little bit. And the area where it doesn't matter if it overlaps is this central area, but it just helps. Just to keep moving around. And in this occasion, I'm not turning it as much as I might otherwise. I'm just keeping a more regular pattern to it. So it just kind of creates a sort of a hint of sort of blossom, really, I suppose. So that's our background. So if we come back in on our main piece, and let's just hover and then down and up. And say it is, you know, it's quite, it does lighten slightly as it dries. Okay, so pop that to one side, and then let's come in with our sentiment. So what I'm going to do is actually punch the, make sure I fed it all the way in. You see there, and punch the end. Do the same with my piece of Rococo Rose. So I'm just pushing that right in, holding it in the channel, and then you get a, I've done a rubbish job on that one. Just, all I'm doing there is just checking on the underside that it's more central. I'd moved it on that previous one. There we go, it's a better end. Here we go, and that's going to layer just on the top there. So all I need to do now is come in with my best wishes. Gosh, I haven't done much chatting on this, I never really. I'm obviously still chilled out from my holiday. I've literally just returned. I have to say, really lucky to have returned from the Greek islands where we were sailing around Corfu. We managed to avoid the Medicane, which is the Mediterranean equivalent of a hurricane. Some horrendous situations for people down there, but I have to say we had a couple of rather bumpy nights on our boats, I have to say, but I'm delighted to say we survived a super crew who were our lead boat on the flotilla, so that was fantastic. So now I've created my best wishes, what I'm going to do is just pop that back into my trimmer. So I could cut it freehand, yeah, but I'm not always great at cutting freehand. You could cut it each end with the punch if you wanted to. I'm just going to put it where you can see it, line that up and just trim. I'll make a right mess. Right, okay. So all that is left is for us to finish off our layering. So I'm going to use my Stampin' Seal for the front here, and this goes on really easily, and all I'm doing is I'm just kind of lifting up and turning, not actually finishing my glue off necessarily at the end there. And you just be really gentle with it and it works fantastically. Add this layer to the front of our card. If you're struggling to see the border, then fold it up. But I try, if I can, to hold it out flat. I find you generally get a better lining up. There we go. So I'm just looking, eyeballing on either end. Okay, I'm going to do the same with my layer. So we don't need the Seal Plus for this. It's not 3D, so it's not going anywhere. It's not going to be bending or folding, so we don't need the extra strength of our Seal Plus. What we do need, however, though, is of course some Stampin' Dimensionals. So just pop some of those on the back. So in this instance, you know, one in each corner, one in the middle will do me fine. Do need to add my layer to the inside, which we've got here. So again, just a bit of seal. If you keep it nice and gentle, you shouldn't have any problems. If you don't want to get gluey fingers to roll it on, if it has not quite caught, then use our silicone mat. Someone gave me that tip and I went, yeah, it's a really good idea. But invariably my silicone mat is tucked out of the way, so just remove the backs off that. And then when we add our sentiment, we want to make sure that it's kind of at the same level. So you've got a choice really what you do with that. That we can pop our panel on first. And I'm just offsetting that slightly to one side, so I've kind of got a similar border top and bottom, but slightly off to the left there. And I'm going to pop our little tag on the side here. So I'm going to pop a dimensional on the end and then add some seal to attach it to the front of the card. You don't kind of want it floating. So just give it a little border. And there we have a pair of my favourite pinks and greys, Smoky Slate and Rococo Rose, Smoky Slate and Blushing Bride, using the beautiful Queen Anne's Lace stamp set. And that's going to join my other Queen Anne's Lace projects. And if you want to see more of those, click on subscribe either on my blog or on my YouTube channel and you'll get notified when I do a post. Thanks for watching. Come back and see me soon. If you'd like to purchase any of the products or indeed talk to me about joining, then just hop along to my blog where you'll find a Join Me button. Drop me an email and I'll be more than happy to have a chat to you about joining Stampin' Up and the fun and games we have. Thanks for watching. Bye now.